Alright, Murph 1911 back with another video. We're going to do one that's on gun quality, why somebody might charge more for a gun over another one. And the best example I can do is 1911s because I have three different variations here of what some people would call low quality, a medium quality, and then a higher quality one. We have a Rock Island Armory 1911, an STI Spartan, and a Colt 1911. We'll start with what a lot of people would call the lower end one. It is the Rock Island Armory 1911. And these can run in price from anywhere from $350 to around $450. I've seen them go all the way up to $500, but you know, why would you pay $500 when a lot of other people have these for that price point? Probably the biggest reason why this is on the lower end is it's made in the Philippines, and the machining on it's okay. It's not up to, like, say, that Colt or that STI down there. The finish is okay, but compared to those two, it's still not up to grade. The quality of steel isn't necessarily as good. It's sufficient, and I would in no way, shape, or form down on a Rock Island. I've had this for several years. It's never given me any problems. It's been 100% reliable, and it comes with a lot of standard features on, I think they call this one the tactical model. It comes with a lot of standard features that you'll find on higher end ones. It has the extended beaver tail, the combat hammer, ambi safety, and the skeletonized trigger. So then to move on to the fit and finish on, or the fitting on them. There's a little bit of rattle in it, but it's pretty good. The tolerances aren't as tight as you'll see on a higher end thing, maybe say like a Colt, a SIG, or if you really want to spend a lot of money, you can go into like the Ed Browns, the Dan Wessons, the Les Bears, stuff like that. If you're willing to spend a couple grand on a 1911 or a firearm, your tolerances are generally going to be tighter. That sometimes can lead to reliability, but you know, looser tolerances generally give you greater reliability. And then you have something like this, an STI Spartan, which this is about probably middle of the pack. They do make higher end 1911s also, but this would probably be a middle of the pack, ranging anywhere from $650 to $750. You can see that there's more machining on the slide. You get, you know, a better set of sights as opposed to the Rock Island. You know, they're adequate, but these are a little bit better. They're windage adjustable, elevation adjustable. You have a fiber optic front. This is my fiance's gun. She has done a little bit more. She's crammed the slide. She's put different grips on it that she's still working on. Has a beveled magwell. The rear strap here has a lot of stippling, as opposed to with this Rock Island, just has a few lines right here, where this one has something like 30 lines per inch or something like that, or I don't know, whatever it is for the stippling back there. The frames on these are made in the Philippines, but the slide, I believe, is made here in Texas, and once they ship a lot of the stuff in, they do remachining, they refinish the slides, add some of their own custom stuff, like they'll put their own safety on there, their own style hammer on it, their own barrel, which you can see it's more of a stainless barrel, whereas this one is still Parkerized like the rest of the gun, and it's just a little bit higher quality. And you can just see they've really fitted it to the gun a little bit better, because you don't really hear as much rattle. I mean, I'm sure after this gets shot a lot more, it'll do that, but you know, you just get the better sights, the better hammer, more machining. doesn't necessarily make it a better gun over this. Oh, and it has a better trigger in it because it's adjustable. There's not as much creep in it. And then if you move on to something like this, which is a Colt that's about 90 years old, and the steel is just top notch on this, for one. The finish is a million times better for a gun that's 90 years old. It just has a little holster wear because it is a former cop's gun. You have some wear here, but on a gun that's 90 years old, you're going to expect to see wear. Generally comes with a higher end gun's going to come with better grips, maybe not the best, but it's going to come with better grips. You're going to have a better finish. Generally speaking, you're going to have better sights. Like this one came with adjustable sights as well. Has a better hammer, better trigger even than the STI, because this one is also adjustable. And you're also kind of paying for the name on a higher end gun, whether it's Kimber, Colt, Les Baer, Ed Brown, any of them like that. You're almost paying for the name on some of those, because an average Colt is going to run you anywhere from $900 to $1,100 plus, and the even more high-end guns are going to be even more expensive, getting into the $2,000 range. And ultimately, it just comes up to the buyer whether or not they think it's worth paying the extra money, because in shooting all these guns, I've never had a problem with any of them. They all have run hollow points perfectly fine. They've all run round nose perfectly fine. No reliability issues with them. You know, if you look back here where it fits to the slide, you can just tell going from there to there that there's a lot less gap, because you can kind of see it in that one. There's a lot less gap between the slide and the frame. And even between these two, you can even see that, you know, it's almost the same, but it's a little bit better on the Colt. The machining process on this was a little bit more time on a CNC lathe or a mill or whatever they use for it. It's going to cost more money because it's more manpower. And also, Colts are made 100% in the USA, so that also brings the cost up. Ultimately, it just comes down to what you want out of your firearm, what you're willing to pay, if you want to pay for a name or not. You know, they're all equally good when it comes to just the shooting process. So ultimately, you have to make up your own mind if you're willing to spend extra money on that, if it's not worth it to you. Because out of all three of these, the one I shoot the most is the Rock Island. It's enjoyable, and it still gets the job done. So you got to decide for yourself.